Hello everyone, I'm Chester44, also known as Falai, and welcome to this Let's Play of In Other Waters. Last episode, we made our way to Site 2 located over here deep in the Bloom, which we have discovered was created by Baikal itself. Baikal created the bacteria with the intent of basically terraforming the planet to make it more habitable for us. For humans. Unfortunately, something went wrong. One of the containers for it was breached, releasing the bloom itself all throughout it, and it caused massive devastation for the planet, nearly destroying it, including destroying something called the Artificers, whatever they are. All we have left now is to head to the East Reef to Site 1, and see if we can learn something here. Fortunately, we should be able to get there quickly enough. We've been through the gardens. Now all we need to do is get to the reef. Okay, looks like we need to actually charge up. And speed up. Let's head through. Now we head through the gardens to the northeastern area. Because that was where the path went. The light of the system's three suns falls onto something amber and huge to the east. It is almost like a pale orange cloud. Oh my. This translucent tentacle doesn't have a fixed shape. Its individual parts instead cycle through developmental phases as they cohere. These golden yellow streams of life shift around solid objects held suspended in the water. These bones, rocks, or something else. This creature is impossibly large. I don't even know how to start logging data on it, but I'll try. This hard barrier is webbed with pulsing nodes. To gain access, we would need to slice through it somehow. Well, let's get on that. What are we looking at here? This appears to be a huge colonial life form. Is this what remains of the Site 1 facility? Let's cut it open. This golden colony is overwhelming. Where do we even begin? Thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of zooids make up its shifting interior. It seems that the zooids are split into specialized functions and forms, from jellyfish-like medusoids to balloon-like bladders of gas. Behind the barrier, the throbbing interior of the colony is revealed, filled with throngs of zooids acting as one. I've never seen a colonial creature of this scale or complexity. Can it really be one single united creature made of ever-shifting processes? The vague shape of the facility's walls is preserved by the colony, the spaces between filled with shifting swarms of life. Beneath the translucent webs of spherical growths, half-digestive walls sits suspended, like an expanding room frozen in time. We'll go this way first. The interior of this creature is like a golden bubble, the light trapped and refracted by hundreds of pearly orbs strung together. The colony breaks the surface 20 meters above. It must be floating on the surface, its body descending in layers like a living iceberg. Between the ragged parts of the facility stretch looping bridges, pumping liquid back and forth from the heart of the colony. The walls are a flowing mass of tentacles. Some have broken away and are floating freely in the water. We might be able to extract them. Tiny medusoid creatures are budding from the walls here, splitting off from luminous stems to join the flow. Let's see what we can learn. S. Emerson. Constantine is too arrogant. Just because he discovered the Artificers doesn't mean he can decide their fate. H. Roth. Sam, he wants to free them. And what do the Artificers want, Hannah? Has anyone asked them? Has anyone asked them? Well, let's take a sample here. And what we have are colony tentacles. Rattus colony. Let's see what you have to say. I'll call this colony Rattus. It floats beautifully across this ocean like some impossible vessel. A vast colonial creature made of thousands of specialized zooids. It floats freely in the ocean, its upper section breaking the ocean's surface. Eaten away on one side, the remains of this lab are like an open set, a staging ground for the colony's process of sublimination. Why would the colony preserve the rooms of the facility as it consumes them? What bizarre processes are in action here? The hollow structure of the colony allows water to flow throughout its core, creating both bulbous corridors and open halls. The central laboratory is almost complete, apart from the large tree-like growths cutting through its walls. I'll get to the central lab in a bit. I want to explore throughout this place. This piece of the lab floats on gas-filled bladder zooids, keeping it buoyant. Some float in the open water, the perfect sample candidates. Go for it. Oh. Right, sampling available. And these are what? Colony bladders. These shoals of golden life look solid as I approach, but passing through they are little more than flurries of petals caught on the current. The ocean stretches east from here, a blue desert beneath 3 red suns. What might lie out there beyond the range of the suit? More gas bladders holding the remains of the lab in place, like the pieces of a torn map hinting at the history of a long-ruined structure. Well, we don't need to take these samples, I don't think. From some angles, the zooid-clogged walls of the facility line up, and I can imagine the past life of this place, with all its human dreams. What do we got here? M. Thorfinn. That is absurd, Kevin. They are no different to us, adapting their environment so they may survive. No, they are not us. K. Clark. The artificers are gardeners, not colonizers. They rewrite genetic code to develop mutualism, to foster life. A fragment of a room eaten away into some strange sculpture, hanging in the blue. It's hard to imagine what this place once was. Each zooid has a function within the colony, their flow back and forth evidence of some complex process that is impossible to parse. And that leads back in. Alright, let's head over to the central lab. It's the only place we got left. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. The central lab will surely have at least some answers, but it seems like the artificers were a living and intelligent species. One that clearly managed to make all of this, and is probably the reason that the world managed to survive as much as it did. To the central lab. F. Voigt. We can't let this continue. We never intended this. That thing they are building. I know. G. Sauer. Constantine has already left for Site 2. If the facility fails and Site 3 is breached, the Oceanic mind can be stopped. Dappled light fills the chamber, passing through its complex branching strands, orbited by swarms of zooids. This looks like a biologist's laboratory. It must have been the first exploratory base on the planet. They discovered the artificers. They started all of this. These were scientists like me, employed by Baikal to study this place. How did it end like this? the mines they were building in the arcology, the genetic research they were doing here. They were all working towards something bigger than just one lab. How could they have let this happen, these biologists? Our first contact turned into a resource grab. Scan all you can, and then let's leave this place. I'll review everything back at base. It won't be long before the colony eats this place away once and for all. Right, let's go back. But what did they say about a mind? The observation bay. Online again? Good. We have a lot to talk about. I've been digging through what we discovered at the facility. I was right to assume that facility was the first base on the planet, the start of all this. The lead biologist, Konstantin Hess, found the artificers here more than 30 years ago. But what is truly incredible is what he discovered they could do. Genetic reprogramming. Rewriting RNA and DNA, both in themselves and their local environment. Some Earth cephalopods could rewrite their RNA, but nothing at this scale or detail. The artificers tended to this world, nudging its life into new arrangements. Not only that, but their exoskeletons. They were quantum computers. Silicon wafers of incredible complexity and purity, able to simulate the outcomes of their genetic rewriting. The artificers were housed in natural machines, ones that evolved here over millions of years. Their complexity far outstrips our own. We could have learned so much from them. But Baikal wanted the artificers' abilities for themselves. And based on what we found at Site 2, we know how this ended. A total collapse. A vast microbial fuel cell leaking into the ocean, eating everything away. The artificers gone, their genetic abilities used in death to save this planet's life. They died for this planet. And you are all that survives them. Well, perhaps not all. I keep seeing the same thing mentioned in the data, the same term appearing in fragments. The Oceanic mind. As far as Baikal were concerned, you were just the beginning. The first mind. The artificers were the key, inscrutable creatures with a quiet power, able to simulate, predict, then able to change. They could rewrite life itself. For Baikal, the opportunity this provided was clear. While the artificers were like gardeners, caretakers of this world, Baikal imagined something else. An oceanic mind, providing total control of the ecosystem, able to enact their will. That's what they were building when the colony collapsed. And it is still out there. In the deep, powered by the heat of hydrothermal vents, the oceanic mind sleeps. I want to see it for myself. We have to know how this all ended. I've marked the approximate location on the position on the map, way out to the north, deep in the abyss. Let me know when you're ready to see this through. There's more here. I was born on Earth. Born in the city of Ponta Delgada, out in the Atlantic, among the turquoise waters and green slopes of the Azores. My father was studying the dying waters, chasing the last known pod of sperm whales to record a final fading image of their impossible spatial language before it was lost forever. My mother was a journalist writing a book on citizen scientists that never found a publisher. We lived there, and all along the Atlantic coast of Europe for almost a decade before life became impossible, the storms tearing into the tidal walls, flooding city after city, clothes twisted in foaming water. We joined the latest waves of refugees, found ourselves beside the Thames, resettled in London. From that privileged viewpoint, I watched our oceans die. And then my parents too. And at some point, once I'd left that sad gray planet behind on a string of Baikal contracts, I forgot that turquoise water ever existed. You were born here. And maybe here things can be different. Let's put the samples in. And what is in the medical bay? Still asking about Ellery. Let's analyze these. The tentacle and the bladder. And learn what this Ratus colony is. The Rattus colony is a huge colonial organism made of layers of zooids, all occupying different roles within its large and complex body. Closer to a living island or iceberg than a creature, Rattus is a free-floating structure which travels across the ocean of Gliese 667cC's planet-spanning ocean. Trying to observe the patterns of Rattus is a difficult task. I have counted tens of different zooid types, flowing in constant movement throughout its cavernous interior. We can assume that they occupy the typical roles of a colonial organism: mobility, defense, digestion, and reproduction, but in a colony so vast, many other processes may be happening. Does Rattus have any neural activity? And why does it cling to the remains of the Baikal lab? Sampling some of the different zooid types may help us understand more about this colony. Which we've done. Sampling the colony's gas bladders has helped us to analyze how Rattus stays afloat. It seems that thousands of these bladders, of different sizes, both keep Rattus at the surface and hold the fragments of the laboratory in place. These bladders, with their high oxygen content, can be inflated or deflated individually to respond to currents and move Rattus across the ocean. This suggests that Rattus has some way of orchestrating massive changes across its huge volume. In a sense, perhaps Rattus is better thought of as an individual with various specialized organs rather than a colony, and yet it shows no signs of essential intelligence. If I was to discover neural activity within Rattus, could I even understand it? The creature is so alien to our way of understanding the world. Analyzing Rattus's tentacles has shown they possess an ability to secrete metal-digesting substances. The conclusion is that these tentacles are consuming the lab piece by piece, using it to fuel the colony's incredible growth. Perhaps Rattus was once a tiny creature floating in a biologist's tank. When the facility was breached, Rattus was gifted a near inexhaustible amount of metal to consume, allowing it to grow to vast size. One day it will eat away the entire structure, its body carrying the shadow of this planet's first human settlement. Sometimes I wish that our marks on Earth could be erased so easily. But the only shadows in our oceans are those of thousands of extinct species we will never regain. Inflated upper membranes, gas bladders, zooids, spawning chains, digestive tentacles. Colony approximately 70 meters in height. That is huge. And what is this? Oh. You know, we had this observation blister this whole time, but we could only activate it when someone was there. And Ellery never went there. But I guess now, at this point, after everything she's been through, she's decided that all she has left is to just go down there and look out at what life remains. What life has evolved. All that remains now is to head to the deep vents. Let's head over there, see what we can discover. At least we'll have a dive location. We may have a single direction, but we're almost at the hydrothermal vents, 3 kilometers down. This has to be close to the suit's range. I can hear the plates creaking. Somehow we are maintaining 1 atmosphere of pressure inside the hard suit. If we make it back up, we'll be setting a strong first record for deep dives on Gliese 667cC. There's almost nothing in the water column here. No life to speak of. But the Oceanic mine should be somewhere ahead. That's our target. Whatever monster Baikal left us, I'm ready. Let's find it. I think this episode is going to go long. Layered with a wispy fog of oceanic ooze, the darkness of the plain is absolute. Streaks of iron ore have accrued across the seafloor, the mark of nearby hydrothermal activity. There's not enough oxygen down here to use the rebreather, so I'm on reserves. The survey data we pulled shows the vents running north from here, along a ridge. Keep moving. We haven't got long. Edges of volcanic rock poke through the settlement, black strips against the bright mineral and metal ores. The soft drift of sediment flakes catches in the suit's lamps, falling from the venting fluid as it spreads into the waters above. Black plumes of fluid rise from a crystalline chimney, discolored with yellow sulfur streaks. Incredible. Look at these things. I remember reading about the discovery of hydrothermal vents on Earth centuries ago. Donnelly, Corliss, and Van Andel, 3 geologists, they never expected to find life in that eternal darkness. And yet there it was. Whole ecosystems we never knew were there, totally independent of the sun's light. They were imagined to be models of alien ecosystems, life in its most extreme forms. But until this planet, that proved to be false. To all of humanity, the universe was dead. Damn Baikal for keeping this place from us, for keeping humanity in the dark. Bone-pale sand mounds surround the chimneys like great piles of cremation ash. Towering pale spires shimmer with the intense heat of the vents as chemicals are pumped into the water from deep within the planet. The tiered structure of the vents evidences their eons of incremental growth as deposits build up around them. Rich in minerals, the black plumes of the vents tower over us, fading into the black of the ocean above. Gases vent up through the sand, creating these thin strings of bubbles. The glint of fool's gold catches the light of the lamps scattered among the talc mountains. Away from the center of the cluster, collapsed chimneys and pillow lava create a landscape of stratified shapes. Close to the vent, masked by the shimmering water, I can see the shapes of a distorted creature, long dead. What is that? Another vent is beginning to form in the rock here, a low pile of crystalline androhite starting to gather. The intense heat of the vents quickly fades off as it mixes with the cold seawater. Mounds of gray rocks sit in a bed of pale talc sand, evidence of ancient volcanic processes. I don't understand. Where is the life? This ecosystem is totally barren. All these minerals, nutrients, heat, and nothing feeding off it. How can this be? Could it just be this vent? Let's keep looking. Uncover every bit I can. Never know when I'll find something new. The rubble of sealed chimneys lies all around, the hydrothermal fluid seeking other exits, forming new vents. The overhangs shimmer with trapped gases, reflecting the twisted shapes of strange dead creatures at the spire's base. I don't think there's going to be anything there. Out of sight of the vents, hidden in the dark, the heavy silence of the seafloor returns. Eons of sediment blanket the seafloor, so pale and empty. The artificial mind Akari was building down here. What was the end goal? Was Baikal hoping to control this whole ecosystem? An entire planetary agriculture attuned to feed their needs? An ecology manipulated by the possibility of genetic rewriting? A power stolen from the artificers? An enslaved planet. Like Earth. I know now why Monet was secretive. She knew that if they found this place again, that would be it for life here. Another vent chimney. Where is all the life that should thrive on the rich fluid which blackens the water? Strange tiered and curved rocks sit all around, distorted by tectonic processes and stained with mineral growth. The surfaces around this vent are thick with sediment but absent of all life. Even the ubiquitous bacterial mats are nowhere to be seen. Another barren vent. This place has been wiped clean. Something's wrong here. What did they do? Around the base of the vents, gas bubbles stream out of cracks, forming pillars which glitter beautifully in the suit's lamps. The blackened sand is almost perversely clean. No life has marked its surface in decades. Another spire sits at the edge of the cluster, filling the water with blackened fluid like a lightless bonfire. Here, away from the vents, piles and piles of distorted corpses lie, their whorled bones dusted with pale settlements. Oh dear. Oh God. Look at these creatures. The bodies. It looks like progressive ossification. The muscles have become bone. Their mutations are extreme, like cancerous growths. There's no structure to their anatomy. The mind. Is this what it made? These senseless monstrosities? Radial piles of long-dead creatures, frozen in crippled states of deformation, scar the sea floor. The corpses become a mass of undifferentiated matter, with the occasional shape of a bone or shell like a tooth growing inside a tumor. A vast organic sphere towers over the corpses, its ornate geodesic patterns mirroring those of the artificers. I think we found it. The mind. It's huge. But it's silent. It's been silent for decades. This is no cradle of life. It's a grave. Did they fail? This is all that's left. A broken mind lying in a bed of corpses? They had no idea what they were doing. The arrogance of all this. A whole ecosystem boiled down to nothing. The artificers lost to us. These are Baikal's crimes. Akari's crimes. What a waste. Is there nothing left? We should look inside. A vast ornate structure grown in the Baikal lab sits broken and dead on the sea floor. Its interior a dark cavern. Further down. Hold on, that was something new. A cavernous interior drills down into the ocean, its biological layers like the slices of a CT scan. There's something here. A small but ornate geodesic skeleton lies in the silt. Inside, the artificer shifts and reforms with a rhythmic consistency. Is it alive? Deep inside the Oceanic mind, something flickers in the ruins. Is that an artificer? It survived, or it was born here? Does that mean there are more? It looks dormant. Is it even alive? Wait, do you hear that? It's singing. I can feel... It knows. It knows what we are. And it is afraid. I understand why. Look at what humans did here. I'm sorry. Wait. No, come back! It's gone. We should be going too. We are running down our oxygen and it's a long way back up. Come on. There's nothing left for us here. Okay then. I guess we leave. Okay. Time to go. I'm beginning the ascent. So they are still out there. The artificers. This is their planet. And we owe them so much. I suppose it's your planet too, with the mine being a failure, the colony destroyed. You are its last artifact, born here. And now, this is my home too. Mine and Manet's. There's so much left for me to do, so much to study, so much to understand. Our history here, it is ugly. It's something I don't want to be a part of. But this planet's future, maybe we can have a part of that. Manet gave everything for the truth. Some residual part of the artificers changed her, but I hope she knows. Knows that she succeeded. This place is no longer a secret. No longer Baikal is to control. Thank you, Manet. And thank you, to you, for staying with me, for guiding me. Together, I think we can make a change. Show humanity Baikal's crimes. Make them accountable. We both carry burdens here, but the past doesn't define us. Life continues here. Despite everything that happened, I can find comfort in that. I think I'm going to stay. I don't have anything left out there, but here I have Manet. I have you. And I have a purpose. Someone needs to swim these waters, to catalog this world. When I was little, I swam every day. I would walk down to the ocean and step into it without a thought. I lost that degree by degree as Earth's oceans died. But here things can be like that once again. These waters can wash all the old ways away. And together, we will see what's left when they do. For an ace, I believe it says. You know, that was a good game. It was an intriguing mystery through it. The studies and information on all of the different species. Admittedly, I'm not a biologist, so I don't have that kind of insight on the kinds of creatures and the information gathered on them, but they were interesting creatures, and I loved that they did include the sketches, so you at least got an idea of the kind of beauty that you couldn't quite see as an AI. Since as an AI, all you saw were the topography and the little yellow dots of wherever it was. So being able to see at least something of the creatures was nice. And overall, the story, I think it was good. Sure, it's a bit of the classic, ooh, evil corporation kind of story, but regardless, I think it worked out. And I hope you guys enjoyed joining me in this journey. In joining me as I read through all the information and practiced my voice acting a bit, which I tried. I don't speak of it much, but I at least tried. Do tell me if I did well with some of it. I don't think the credits are very long. We're going through all the personal thank yous for backers and everything. Yeah, I think we're already at the end of the credits. So, yeah. Copyright Jump Over the Age 2020. Oh, that's the name of the company. Okay. Okay, Jump Over the Edge is the company. Got it. Safe mode. Dive map offline. Oki, I'm up on the comm level. Come quick, I'm about to do something stupid. I repaired the antenna. I'm starting to think I should have been an engineer. I know I said we would wait to be rescued, but I'm sick of waiting. Everything we have discovered together, this whole ecosystem, we need to share it. I'm about to broadcast it all. Your scans and maps, my notes and sketches, everything we know about Gliese 667cc. I'm sending it on all channels, 1 million data packets heading out into the black. That way we can be sure it will make it out. We don't own this place, not any more than anyone else. So we can't keep it just for ourselves. There's too much beauty, too much hope in these documents, too much of a future. All these hours of study and discovery, they've changed me, changed my life. But I'm ready for what comes next. Thank you for helping me get here. Right, that's enough of this speech. I've talked enough for the both of us by now. It's up to you to do the honors. Hit the switch. It's time. Before you do, she's still asking about Ellery, whatever she is now. And you have one more message. Now the real work begins. Whatever was left of the Oceanic mind, it is dead. Another failed experiment. Another biological atrocity to add to humanity's list. But I don't want to let it define us and our role on this planet. We can't start fresh, I know that. But the artificers are still here, and that means we can reach them. I want to show them we are curious. We are kind. We are able to live alongside them. There is still so much left to study here, so many questions to answer, but I'm not scared anymore. I'm excited to see what we can achieve in the time we have. People will come here soon enough, and when they do, I want to show them what we have found, the evidence of Baikal's crimes, and what we need to protect. If people can see this place for what it is, a second chance, then maybe they will want to protect it too. That's what my father believed, and my mother believed. That if people could understand what they were losing, they would want to save it. Let's get to work. Send the signal. And then do we have the credits again? Or just a nice? And then we have the credits again. Okay, I guess we can skip to menu. And with that, I will go ahead and end this episode, the stream, and the game. In Other Waters is done, and it was a fairly lovely game. I think it was nice. I've said what I have to say. So, from here on, well, I have started another game by the time this is up. This is filling a gap. So, the other game would have started. I've got 2 other games running, so feel free to give those a watch. I'll be getting to other indies eventually, or other games eventually, but for now, this was a nice little stopgap. A nice trip through the oceans. So, I'm ending this here. Till the next episode, or the next video, I am Chester44, also known as Fly. This has been a Let's Play of In Other Waters, and I shall see you all next time.